Welcome back. Now, Benin's legislative elections take place tomorrow. Voters will be given a chance to vote for opposition parties, unlike in 2019. 7 parties are vying for the 109 seats in the National Assembly, 24 of which are reserved for women. To give us an understanding of what legislative elections in Benin means, we are joined by a Benin native and leader of opposition group ML Movement of Liberation, Dr. Ladislas Agbesi. Dr. Agbesi, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Now, elections in Benin have seen a spike in violence and uproar over the last 2 elections, in 2019 as well as in 2021. Is the same expected for the 2023 elections?
I think we are in a very difficult moment as we stand today. Thank you very much, Katleko. Thank you for listeners. Thank you for your team. And it is a privilege for me to be this afternoon talking to our viewers and talking to you guys. And first of all, I must say that Benin has been the pioneer of democracy since decades, since 1990. And it's sad to understand that today things are happening differently. We are the custodians of democracy, and we believe that can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Doctor. It just seems as though you're load-shedded. We can't see you, but we most certainly can still hear you. All right, it seems as though Doctor is back. Doctor, are you still with us? We can hear you, we just can't see you, and I think it's due to load shedding.
Yes, but I am back. Yeah, the generator is back and everything is fine. What I'm trying to say is that Benin is a very proud country in terms of leading the first steps of democracy in Africa, among many countries in the world. And for many decades, and it's sad that since 2016, we've met a dictator and a group of small people who have turned what is the beauty about our continent, because in Benin it's not about money, it's not about wealth, it's about a culture of respect of other people, respect of rule of law, respect of democracy, respect of each and other. And our tradition has been one of the custodians of great people we are in West Africa. That's why many governments in West Africa work with many Benin people and trust them. Today we are in a different kind of direction where we are losing our integrity, we are losing everything. There's no democracy. We hope that next week, tomorrow, we are not expecting a good news, and there will be some kind of disturbances. We are expecting it due to the kind of negotiation which happened. There's no opposition in this election, and we will talk about it.
I want us to talk about that because unlike in 2019, voters were not able to vote for oppositions. Has that now changed? When people go to the polls tomorrow, will they not be able to vote for opposition parties?
Listen, what is happening today is that some of us from diaspora, we've been able to put a little pressure with a good school of being in South Africa, understanding the Pan-Africanism, working with many kind of institutions from the African Union, European Union, the World Bank, and putting a lot of pressure on the government. The government couldn't resist by using a different kind of model to bring some of the other opposition people, especially where it is very shame that the former president, Boyi Yayi, is now a partner with the President Talon to bring our democracy to where it is today. Today, what we are having as an election tomorrow is an arrangement between friends to go for election to legitimate Patrice Talon in his dictatorship. And I think the country is observing it. Some of us are observing it. Some of the other people are observing it. Yayi is not more of an opposition party. He was looking to be appointed as a special envoy to Guinea and have an arrangement with the president. And he promised him to come with the party and go for election tomorrow. All the party which went for election are parties which belongs to the president in power.
So in essence, you're saying these are not necessarily fair elections where people would be able to vote for people that they believe should be occupying those seats. Just take us through in terms of maybe trying to understand better what Benin will be hosting tomorrow on legislative elections. Maybe take us through the difference between legislative elections and general elections.
You see, today there's something very interesting which happened in South Africa. And first of all, I must congratulate President Cyril Ramaphosa and the leadership of ANC for coming back to start to reaffirm the African Union institutions. 2007, the African Union have set up what we call Africa Court of Human Rights and People. And in 2019, that court have set aside a judgment which asked the government of Benin that please don't review the constitution, don't go for election. He asked all the opposition people to stay away till the new law, the new revised constitution of Benin should be renegotiated. But the president refused go ahead because he have one party. He put his own people. He created two parties, which is Bloc Républicain and Union Progressiste. And those two parties were the only people who were allowed to go for election. Those people are the people who crafted the new law, which the Africa Court of Human Rights said because one Benin people went to that court and tested the law of Benin. And the African Union a court set that please stop the election. So if ANC today is saying that we are no more going to the International Criminal Court, we want to reinforce African institutions. And when you have somebody else who disregard those kind of institutions and move ahead and even further remove himself, which the Benin have signed the charter since 2007, and when the charter of our own court, because we don't want to go to ICC. We want our own court in Africa to judge our people. So today, what is happening today is that the president of Benin have his own parties, which have done election. When he went to election, he never allowed anybody to go to election. His own parties, all the people in the parliament till today are people from his party, his own parties. We put pressure on him. They said he must send the people to parties. Even the list of the people of the party of the former president has been dictated by him. All the people who are going for the election today in that election for tomorrow, they don't have even the card of that party of the president Yayi. His first party, they took it away from him. The second party he created, they give him the list. He was put in jail for 52 days. He wanted to be imprisoned by this guy. He went and begged him and asked him to forgive him. And he asked the president to give him the possibility to be special envoy. That's why I like the statement of the ANC during the time of Consular Damizuma, who said, former head of state, the government need to find a solution to give them salaries, give them emolument. If you become head of state in Africa and they don't have a provision for you, you are tempted to do corruption, to do wrong things. These are some of the things where the new generation will come to power. We need to cover them and look after them, because when they don't have anything to look after themselves, they will do anything to avert the democracy in our country. In a nutshell, tomorrow is not election in Benin. It's just election which is organized by Sir Patrice Talon with his friend. And there's going to be a noise in the country because he's got into bed with former President Yayi Boni.
Now, Doc, I mean, you speak that tomorrow is not necessarily going to be an election, and I mean, the country battles a lot of poverty, but also amongst that, it is increasingly threatened by the Islamic extremists, such as, especially in that West Africa region, we know that the Al-Qaeda forces have really been putting a lot of violence, and extremists have gotten their way within that region. What advice would you have then for an incoming government to be able to curtail some of that, especially with the coastal regions, with Benin being the hardest hit?
Just remember that Benin is a very strategic position. We deserve 6 countries. We are 12 million population, 699, 800 square kilometers, with a coastal line of close to 400 kilometers. We are in a position on the Atlantic side to better play a better role to deal with this Islamic group. And I believe that it needs the participation of Benin people, because the first thing is to build confidence in the people of Benin, because intelligence to deal with insecurity starts with communities. Communities need to be happy to be able to help the security agency to deal with Islamists. We start from that point of view. And now, African Union and the ECOWAS, with the agency through the United Nations, are doing a great job. We can assist them and put it better. When a country is divided, and you see the sub-Sahara from Mali, from Niger, and Burkina Faso, in the next 18 months, if nothing is done, and we still have that government who have divided the country into religion, tribe issues, insecurity in the country, you are in to see some kind of instability in West Africa. And we believe that we are going to do everything we can on our level to avert such situation of Islamists in our country. No matter who is there or not, we will contribute to avert it. The only advice I can give to anybody is that what the international community need to do is that to come quickly to bring peace and stability to our country. Community are very strong in terms of dealing with the Islamics, because they deal with the local people. We have one of the greatest community in West Africa. We are so shocked to see what is happening, but because of the governing bodies, which are the reason. I want the world to know that Benin is going to be a shining a country in the next couple of years to come, with a new generation to lead that country. We have access to the ocean. We have all the mineral. We have the latest 3 oil blocks, which are one of the greatest one on the high sea, the block 6 and 7. And we are about to break the news to the world that we are a country of prosperity. And we don't want people to use our prosperity to bring fight in Benin. Benin is going to be the greatest economy, not Equatorial Guinea, not Ghana. We are going to have, because we have access to 6 countries. We deserve Chad, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, to the extent Algeria. And we have the biggest port with peace. And we contribute to 8 to 10% to the GDP of Nigeria. What a country you can have better than that. What an amazing country you can have better than that. We are the only country who don't beg in the Middle East. We are the only country where you don't see us carrying ourselves going to Middle East, Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia, and we are in West Africa. All the other countries go and beg. You must understand why. Because we are a very great nation. Because we know how to run our own issue. Patrice Talon need to be there in a couple of 6 months or 8 months to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ladislas Agbesi. We do hope that the people of Benin going to the polls tomorrow will make the right decision in ensuring that Benin goes back to being that dynamic state of democracy. That was Dr. Ladislas Agbesi, the leader of the opposition group ML Movement of Liberation. Thank you so much for your time this evening.